So we're going to talk about LinkedIn today and how to create a powerful LinkedIn profile. So, you know, LinkedIn is becoming more and more powerful in terms of getting clients, lead generation, brand awareness, and all the rest. I actually just came from a breakfast this morning. It was the mayor's, the Subi of Mayor breakfast, and there was quite a few businesses in there, and they were talking about, you know, how businesses are diversifying and what they're going to change in their business structures and the way they're doing business. And one of the first things post-COVID is that people are going to really start leveraging off social media platforms to really get engaged with their audience and target market. So as we all know, when shutdown happens, if God forbid it has to happen ever again, but it's important to have that online digital presence as well. So my choice of platform that I'm most active on would be LinkedIn. And the reason is two reasons. A, I like the content that is generated on LinkedIn. I feel like I actually learn stuff when I'm on there. And B, I've identified that that is my demographic. That's my target market. So today I'm going to talk to you about obviously how to build a strong LinkedIn profile, but it's one thing building a strong profile and it's another thing in keeping that consistency, right? Because we can all build a great profile, but if we create it and leave it, it's not going to work. To me, it's similar. I always use the analogy of going to a personal trainer and you saying, I want to get fit, I want to lose, 3 kilos, and then just going home and eating cake and chocolate. It doesn't work like that. You still have to put the work and the effort in. So I guess today I'm your LinkedIn personal trainer. I'll tell you what you need to do, but it's still up to you to go and actually do the work and schedule the content and all the rest. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen with you all now. So as some of you might already know me, my name is Sandra Tricoli. I'm the director of Savvy Creations PR, so PR and social media content agency. Really, we specialize in content creation. My background is journalism and public relations, and yeah, this is my 5th year going into business now. A lot of my clients, thankfully, knock on wood, have actually been generated through LinkedIn. So, when people say to me social media doesn't work, I say, what are you doing to make it work? And a lot of the time there's a direct correlation between something not working and work not actually being put in, or effort not being put into making it work. My theory is everything works in life with consistency and a clear plan. So I think a lot of people just go, oh, social media, but you really need to look at social media like an extension of your business development strategy for your business to actually grow to the next level. So, if you've had a consultation with me before, you know that I always talk about what I call my 7 funnels to lead generation. And what I mean by that is, how does anyone find out about our business or our service in today's day, right? How do people find out about us? How do they hear about us? And how do we get business? Like, I sit down and I think about, how do I generate my business leads? Where are my business leads coming from? And I've identified what I call my 7 funnels. So I'll quickly run through those funnels. And, if you do have a piece of paper and a pen or on your phone or laptop, do write it down. So one funnel is social media, right? So my thing is social media, you need to be active, choose your channels. Don't try and be everything to everyone. It doesn't work like that, but choose your channels. The second one is Google, right? So if I type in finance Perth or social media Perth or marketing Perth or doctor Perth or physio Perth or whatever the keywords are, where are you actually showing up on Google? Right? If you're not on page 1, then you're probably not going to be found as likely to be found. So it's important that we focus on getting you onto page 1 of Google, and that's done through search engine optimization, SEO. Social media is a part of SEO. You posting regularly on LinkedIn is a part of SEO, right? So Google is the second stream. And then you've got publicity, PR. So is there a story? Do you have a new service? Do you have a new product? Is there something exciting? Do you feel like there's something trending in the media and you can be the spokesperson for that topic, right? So PR is another great way of you getting out and publicizing your business, creating your authority, and then being known for that. So social, Google, PR, strategic alliances are very powerful, right? So create quite a few, maybe 5, 6 strategic alliances where you share the same demographic, but you don't, but you don't offer the same services. Then you've got your referrals, then you've got advertising, and last of all, you've got active business development, so networking events, and under business development, I also put tenders. So they're your 7 funnels. You've got to identify. Now, I can almost tell all of you that are watching me without even knowing what your business is. You would say to me, Sandra, most of my leads come from word of mouth, 100%, but you could also potentially be getting referrals and business from other leads. And sometimes that word of mouth might it might have been a higher number of clients coming to you if you were more present on your social media, right? Because on average, it takes people 16 touch points before they go, you know what, I'm going to engage this person. So you've got to think, yes, we've got getting referrals, and I'm a big believer in referrals. I think that's one of the strongest ways of getting business, but social and PR and Google, all these other things are complementary to those referrals as well. So we can't put all our eggs in one basket, and that goes, in terms of advertising your business and where you're getting your leads from. Some people say, I only rely on Google. That's the only place I get my leads from. And then what happens if Google shuts down, which that was something that was a topic of discussion not long ago with Google being banned with ads. So you've got to kind of, I guess, diversify your business offerings as well as where you're actually getting your business from in today's growing market. So we're going to talk about obviously how to build a standout profile, what to write when commenting, but really today's workshop is very much, webinar I should say, is very much about building a strong personal profile. I could probably talk about LinkedIn for about 4 hours, I reckon. There's so many elements to it, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So I'm really going to focus on, I guess, building a strong profile. So what is LinkedIn? It's a networking, I guess, a social networking site built for the B2B community, so business to business. I am noticing a bigger trend in business to consumer businesses jumping onto LinkedIn purely because they're identifying, wait a minute, Sandra Tricoli, yes, she's a business, but she also likes to go on holidays. Well, COVID's been wiped that out for a bit, but she also likes cars. She also likes to buy nice things. So people and businesses, generally your business to consumer businesses, they're starting to identify, wait a minute, just because I'm not in the B2B space, it doesn't mean that my clients aren't, or my target market, or my client avatar. So that's really what it is. But once again, it's like anything, having a nice LinkedIn profile and a well put together profile, it's kind of like when I always use the analogy, you wouldn't want to invite guests to your house when you haven't cleaned your house up, right? Similar to LinkedIn, don't start connecting with people and posting and all that if you don't have a profile that is aligned with your brand, right? Because if you've got, and I'll go through that in a bit more detail now, but we need to make sure that it's aligned with your brand. All right, so how to strategically build your LinkedIn. So what I'm going to do, because I think this is going to work a lot better, I'm actually going to jump onto my LinkedIn profile now and go through step by step. I do also want to let you guys all know that you are watching today. I'm not sure if you have come and seen me before through the ASBAS program. Obviously, today's webinar is brought to you by the Australian Small Business Advisory Services, which is a Commonwealth-run program. They offer small businesses 24 hours worth of assistance, right? So if you go, oh, I really need to have another session with Sandra after this, you can, right? The first hour is free. The second hour is $40, and the other remaining 22 hours, if you need those 22 hours, is $60 plus GST. So you can have 1 hour, you can have 10 hours, it's completely up to you, and that expires in July of this year. So I know a lot of people after a webinar or workshop say, oh God, I need extra help, or, can you mentor me? Can you blah, blah, blah. So if you do need that extra assistance, if you do need more of that one-on-one coaching, you can do that through the Commonwealth program, and I will send you a link after this workshop to your email for you to book in if you need any more help. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to go to my actual LinkedIn profile. So let's have a look. Now, one thing to remember is people buy people before people buy things, and you might be hearing a lot, personal branding. It depends on your business and how you want to see it. A lot of people also go, you know what, I don't want to be a face of my brand. But the way that marketing is changing now is that it's all about showcasing the people, the culture, and who you are as a person as well. It's not necessarily about your products, your services. It's really about who are the people behind these products and services. So that's why it is very much about having that strong voice. I know I've read research. Hayes got voted as the best LinkedIn company profile, for example, and they said one of the main reasons that they got voted by the people, by us, why they were one of the most powerful and best company pages is because they leveraged their company leaders to share information, insights, and all this kind of stuff. So even a big company like Hayes that has thousands and thousands of staff, they're still leveraging off their company leaders to share this news and all the rest. So that's a company profile. So you've got two things similar to Facebook. You've got your personal profile, like this one you can see, right? And then you've got your company profile, right? So if you click on the me icon here and I scroll down and I click on Savvy Creations, okay, this is my company profile. Okay, so you can see there's a little bit of obviously consistency with my branding, but the company is more about we, Savvy Creations, whereas Sandra Tricoli, my personal profile, is more about I, Sandra Tricoli. So let's start with the top and we'll slowly walk down. So this space here where I've got my arrow now, where it's got my logo, this is free real estate for your business, right? When you send someone a connection invite or they send it to you, this is the first thing they're going to see. So why not leverage of that? Why not create a nice banner or a nice cover photo for your business that you can put in there and, you know, build that brand awareness? You know, I've still got images there of me, but I've got Savvy Creations in there. So a really great way to do this is if you don't already have Canva, go to Canva. You can use it for free. I'll show you quickly now. Okay, so with Canva, you can do premium or you could just use the free Canva account, right? And this is what it looks like. And Canva's fantastic. So if you're not familiar with Canva, yeah, Canva is a great, I call it the graphic design tool for non-graphic designers like myself. I'm not a graphic designer, but you can create content in here that looks like graphic designers have done it. So this is the free version. So all you need to do is sign up and then in here, type in LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn banner, click on that. And what it does, it already gives you templates for a LinkedIn banner. So you can change this, you can edit these. So let's say I wanted to use, I don't know, this one, for example, right? Everything in this banner or this template is editable. So you can change this, tweak it. So I'll write here, I don't know, I'll write Sandra Tricoli, for example. Wider. Hi, Sandra, and then the bottom one is Tricoli. And then I would basically download that and then upload it into my LinkedIn cover and ta-da, there's my banner, okay? So Canva is great. So you just click on download here. Canva is great for anything. If you click on the home icon in the left-hand corner here as well, you can see at the top here, right? You can do anything. You can type in Facebook and it will give you Facebook templates. You can say LinkedIn, it will give you LinkedIn templates, not just the banner, just in general. So there's so much amazing stuff in there. Canva is an amazing, amazing tool for creating just graphic design content that, you know, you don't need to hire a graphic designer for. So I'll go back to my LinkedIn. So look, if you guys do have any questions as well, I'm just going to see if I can actually see the questions now. Okay, so if you do have any questions along the way, feel free to ask them and I can respond, because I know sometimes there's quite a few people that might be thinking the same thing. So definitely feel free to ask questions as I go. So what I've done recently as well is I've changed where it says Sandra Tricoli. I've put next to my name social media strategist. Now I used to have that underneath my name, but what I've realized is if I search, for example, here, if I go, I'll just show you what it looks like. So for example, the first thing you see is like this, Business Station Inc., or you see, you know, Anthony J. James, right? So what I've done is he's got CEO Innovation and Growth at Trinity, right? But what I've done is I've moved this part and put it next to my name, because it's a lot more like prevalent and you can see it a lot better. Aaron Fisher, so you know, he's got that. So I've got Sandra Tricoli, social media strategist, because a lot of the time people don't even read that little bit underneath, they read this thing. So think about what your title is and try and include that into your actual name. So all you need to do, you can see these little pencils here, this little pencil here, that's where you do the cover photo. You click on this little pencil here, and that's where you can edit all that information, right? So you've got headline, you've got your current position, education, Murdoch University, or the rest, okay? And then you just save that. So I've put social media strategist as my last name and Sandra Tricoli as my first name. Okay, I'm not sure if you saw that, but I'll show you again. So I've got Sandra, and then last name is Tricoli, social media strategist. I don't know that that's not my last name, and it just is a lot more powerful when people are scrolling and that comes up. So that is one little, I guess, trick. Now, the next thing you need to do is click, your cover photo, sorry, your profile picture. Please, please, please make sure that this is a good profile picture, because this is what people connect with, right? I did a workshop the other night and someone said to me, what's your criteria for accepting or declining someone? And I've said, look, my criteria for accepting people is generally if they're purse-based businesses, and however, I will not accept people that don't have a profile picture, or they have a profile picture like looks like they've just taken after a really big night and hungover, or from their wedding in 1992 or whatever, right? For me, I have criteria. I'm not stringent where I won't connect with someone if I don't know them, because the way that LinkedIn works, it's like a networking event online, right? If you think about going to a networking event, right? When you go to a networking event, you walk up to Jenny and Jack that you know, hey guys, how you doing? But you also walk up to people you don't know in order to grow your network. So that's a big misconception I think that a lot of people have with LinkedIn, is that they go, I don't know that person, I'm not going to add them. But the whole thing is, right? The whole point of it is that you need to actually connect with people that you don't know as well. So that's something really, really important to keep in mind. So profile picture, and then here you go profile section. You've got your about section, your featured, background, and all the rest. I'll show you that now, how we can do all of that. So cover photo, profile picture, your title here, try and sum it up in what you do. So I've typed in social media strategist. Obviously, I'm a director of my company. I've got 2 businesses, Savvy and Perfect Copy, but I've just thought, okay, I need to encapsulate what I do, which is very much social media strategist. I can put in there PR as well, but social media is probably about 70% of the work that I do. In the about section, okay, the about section needs to be written from first person. So it's very much about, it's kind of like a cover letter. If you've ever applied for a job, which I know a lot of us business owners are like, oh, haven't done that in 100 years. But if you ever have applied for a job, you would be familiar with writing a cover letter. A cover letter is basically about who you are, what you've done, why you love what you do, what your strengths are. So as you can see on mine, I'm an accomplished PR and marketing specialist with strong passion for roles that combine strategy, marketing, digital communication, and business transformation for over a decade, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I won't bore you, but that gives you a little bit of a, I guess, a template in terms of your cover. It needs to be written first person. One thing that I do like is when people add a little bit of their own personal kind of flavor to it as well. So, you know, I've read some funny ones. You know, I've read one of the guys that actually works at LinkedIn. He put on there something about like supporting a footy team and don't connect with me if you support this footy team, and, you know, a little bit of humor. So you can do that. You can, you know, you can add a bit of your personality in there. You can say, you know, I'm a mother of 1 or 5 or 10 or whatever, you know, what you like. I like traveling. I like reading books. So, you know, going back to my people by people, we are all people on here. And I think sometimes people get a bit like, oh God, it's a professional platform, I've got to be professional. Yes, but we're still a human, right? So you need to add a little bit of that. And that's something I can assist you with as well. If you do feel like, oh, I'm stuck, come and book in with me. And I think also, if this is your first like webinar for free, I think you get your first hour with me for free as well, if you do need that. Now we get, so that's the about section. So we've got the profile cover photo, we've got the profile picture, we've got the thing here about who I am, okay? About section needs to be written in first person. Now, featured, what is featured? So this is like what people will see when they're on your homepage of your LinkedIn, right? So featured is basically posts that you choose. So you've got to post something and then you can choose to feature that on your home page. So I generally will feature posts that have had quite a good interaction, and you can keep on updating it. So as you can see here, if you look at my featured, I've got quite a few on there, right? As it scrolls across, but really these are, so if I was to feature another post today, then that would move these all a little bit down, and that would be my first one. So I'll show you how to feature a post. So you only want to feature posts that are very that have had good engagement and that you really feel are quite aligned with your brand. It gives people like a quick snippet of who you are. So I'll show you what I mean by featured. So let's say I wanted to feature this post. Now you can't feature something, post it, then feature it. So in the coming weeks, I'll be running a small business podcast, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now if I thought, okay, you know what, I want to feature this, I click on these three little buttons in the right-hand corner and I click on feature on top of my profile. Okay, very simple, that's it. I feature it on my top of my profile. If I did that, then it would, I won't feature it because I like the other ones better. But if I did that, then it will come up and be right here, okay? So you can change this as regularly as you want. You can keep it as is, but I like to have them featured on there so then I can, give people a bit of a snapshot about what I do. And if you want to delete any, you just click on the pencil here and you can go remove from featured. So if you go, oh, don't like this post anymore, why on earth did I feature that? You just click on this little pencil here. Okay, remove from featured. That's it. Okay, so we scroll down. Okay, then we go to followers. So I've got, at the moment, I've reached over 10,000. I've got 10,013 followers. And where it says see all activity, where I'm going to click on now, that shows people, including myself, all my activity. So all activity shows what I've liked, what I've commented on, all that kind of stuff. And then I click on articles. These are articles that I've written. These are posts that I've done. Okay, and these are documents that I've done. Okay, so you can show these are documents that I've done. So really the trick to LinkedIn is about being consistent, but also mixing up your content, not just going, oh, I'm just going to do one piece of content, that's it. It's about having variety. It's about doing videos. It's about doing articles. It's about building yourself as the authority. This is my elevator pitch, I guess, would be I position my clients as the authority of their industry. Right, so I want you, whoever's watching today, to be known as the go-to person in your industry. So whether you're in finance, whether you're consulting, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a retail assistant, whether you've got a shop, what do you want to be known for? What do you want your business and what do you want yourself to be known for? Once you get clear on that, it becomes a lot easier to be able to create content, to be able to create a profile that aligns with that. One of the big mistakes a lot of businesses make is that they're not sure. They start, and we're all guilty of it, because when you start, you're kind of trying to find yourself. There's no, we can read 100 books about business and this, but when you start your own business, when you're in your own business, it's extremely hard to know exactly what you want to do from day dot. So But the one thing that does help you is to strategize and to have goals in place and to go, okay, this is really what my next 5 years looks like. I want to be known as XYZ. I want to make XYZ money. I want to, whatever, right? The clearer you are on your goals, the easier it is to achieve them, because you create a roadmap to achieve them, right? So rather than you going, oh my God, it's Wednesday and it's Thursday, I haven't posted anything. Oh my God, what am I going to post today? It's because you haven't actually identified what you want to be known for. What is you? Who are you? If I think of you, what comes to mind first? So that's something that, is very, very powerful, because once you've got that, it makes it a lot easier to create content based on that. So I'll go back to my profile. So we scroll down, okay. As that's my activity, and then I've got my experience here. So Savvy Creations, Perth Copy, Business News, blah, blah, blah. Then I've got my skills and endorsements. Skills and endorsements are really important to have on your profile. And I'll tell you why. Because if someone is looking for someone with a marketing strategy or public relations, right? So you can see here I've been endorsed 87 times for marketing strategy. What that does, it increases my visibility. So then if someone is looking for a marketing strategy or sustainability or an environment, the more you've been endorsed for that certain skill, the more higher you will go up the ranking when people are actually searching for that. So I would say you can have up to 50 skills. You click on add a new skill, right? And you would write in there whatever your, so I've reached my limit of 50. I've got 50 skills. Pat on the back for me. I'm sure some of those are redundant, but anyways, you can have up to 50 skills in there, and then people will endorse you. So, you know, if you've got clients or anyone like that, that, you know, you've worked with, they can jump on and endorse you. And then we move down to recommendations. Now, recommendations are like personal testimonials. So if you go to a restaurant, what do we do a lot of the time if we go to a restaurant? We Google them. We check them out on social media. I want to see their menu. I want to see what their what their star rating is. This is very, I guess, common when we travel. You go on TripAdvisor and you go to this restaurant, it's got 5 stars. You're like, oh, I've got to check, oh, it's got 1,000 5-star reviews. You've got to check it out. So this is kind of like your TripAdvisor for yourself, right? Only thing is you don't have stars, you've got recommendations, you've got your reviews. So this is a really great opportunity for you to ask your clients, your co-workers, your, you know, people that have had some sort of business relations with you to write like a testimonial about you, because it gets featured on your wall. And then if you've got a client or a colleague or whatever that wants to work with you, they read this, it adds a lot more strength to your proposition, to your proposal to the client, right? So I've got 35 that I've received and I've given 14. So, you know, that you can see people saying, you know, Sandra's, you know, professional, blah, blah, all this great stuff, which is lovely. So I can also then say, you know what, I can use this as a post for my social media. So I could literally go, Ursula, right, I control C that. I can then go to my Canva, put it in a template, love receiving feedback from my clients, put her comment in there, her testimonial, put her name in there and post that. And there's one of my posts. Right, so what this does, other than just giving you credibility to your viewers or to your connections, it's also giving you content that you can then use on your social media. Right, some of the biggest things that people struggle with when it comes to social media is, I don't have time. And my answer to that is always, well, if you don't have time to post on your wall, how are you going to have time to, you know, look after your new clients? People are so busy always wanting new clients, but then they're like, I don't have time to post. It's not that you don't have time, it's that you just haven't made it a priority. So you need to make it a priority, because unfortunately, whether you like it or not, social media is actually an extension of our business. So, you know, and I've had people go, oh, but I've had all my clients come in from social media. I mean, from referrals. I don't need social media. And I say, well, imagine how many clients you could have had if you did use social media. Right, so my ratio of my clients, 30% of my clients, existing clients, are from LinkedIn, 30%, right? So, you know, if someone says that to me, I can answer with my hand on my heart saying it does work, because I've seen it work for myself. But I'm also extremely consistent with my posting. I'm extremely consistent with building that brand. So for me, it works for everyone. But like anything in life, it takes time. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. So the sooner you start, the clearer you are on your strategy and where you want your business to go, the easier it's going to be for you to achieve it. Okay, so going back to the recommendations. So some of these people have just, you know, from the goodness of their heart, gone and written me a recommendation, like this lovely lady here, Ursula. Last week I consulted her and she just jumped on and wrote a recommendation, which was lovely of her. But if she hadn't have written that, I could have done this. I could have gone, ask for a recommendation. Okay, and let me see if I can ask Karen. She's a client of mine. I click on select your relationship. So Karen was a client while I was at Savvy Creations PR. Click next. Hey Karen, could you please write me your recommendation? Done. And then you can edit that when you get a chance. Okay. Send. Now, Karen's going to get an email or a message on LinkedIn saying Sandra has asked you to write a recommendation. She'll then write the recommendation. If I'm happy with it, I approve it and it goes on my wall. So that's the good thing about LinkedIn. No one's going to write, well, Sandra was crap. because even if they did, which they never have, knock on wood, I don't have to approve it. So that's the beauty of LinkedIn as well. But it is very, very good to have that on your wall. So that is your home page, right? Now, this is me obviously showing you on a desktop. It's a little bit different on your mobile. So that is your home page. You've got your cover, profile picture, and all the rest. Now, before we move to the next stage, which is going to be about content and stuff like that, is there any questions that anybody has until we go to the next stage? Don't all go at once, guys. It's okay, you might have questions after. Okay, if you do have questions after, LinkedIn, send them to me by email, LinkedIn, or anything like that. But I will move on to the next slide. Is it making all sense? I'm not talking too fast. I've had 2 coffees so far. I'm on my 3rd. So if I'm talking too fast, let me know. I'll slow down. I have a tendency of wanting to fit in as much as I possibly can in the 1 hour. So I'll go back to my slides. Okay. I'm going to skip through a few of these purely because I've already touched on them. Okay. So like I mentioned, figure out who you are, what you want to be known for, define your audience. This is so important. So we've built the profile, we've got the profile picture, we've got the cover photo, we've got everything. The next thing is going, okay, now I need to be connected with the right people, because it's all fun and games having a nice profile, but if you're not connected with the right people, what's the point? Right? So it's like holding a presentation and holding it just to yourself. No one's actually gonna, there won't be any action taken after that. So you really need to define who your target market is. One of the best ways to identify your target market is to think, how am I solving a problem for someone? Who is that someone that I'm solving a problem for? So, you know, every successful business is a solution to someone else's problem. What problems are you solving? Who is your client avatar? And when you write, make sure you're writing as if you're writing to just that one person, right? The big mistake a lot of people make is that they write like they're writing for 100 people. And the truth is, you're never going to be able to have a consistent voice with your brand if you're trying to please everyone. So the clearer you are on your target market and your demographic, the better the voice, the tone, the consistency of your branding will actually be. So research your desired industry, ask for interviews, embrace networking, ask for recommendations. So we've already kind of touched on that a little bit. Important information to have, we've touched on that. Now, one thing that I do recommend, I'm actually getting a photo shoot tomorrow. I haven't had one in about 130 years, but I do recommend every 6 to 12 months, get yourself a photographer and get some nice photos. And they don't just have to be headshot photos of you being like, it can actually be like you having a coffee, like a bit lifestyle photos where you're having coffee, having meetings. And the reason this is important is because you will find any photo, any post that you do that you're in the post is going to get 50% the engagement opposed to you not being in the post. Now, I understand we don't have a million photos of ourselves, but what you can do is you can utilize those images from the photo shoot and do like Canva posts and things like that. I'll show you a profile of this guy who's really, really good. He does it extremely well. Let me just see what his name is. His name, this guy. So this will give you a bit of an idea. Just make sure that I'm sharing this right screen with you. So I'll show you this guy because this is what I mean by consistency and branding and putting your face to the name. This guy, okay? So he works, I help experts level up their influence. Great guy, highly recommend you guys actually do follow him on LinkedIn. And you can see, right, so if we go to, he's got 873,000 followers. So he's quite popular on LinkedIn, but if we click on post, I just want to show you what I mean by branding and consistency because he's very good, okay? So you can see he's got this color that he's chosen that he works with a lot, which is like that light blue. And you can see he's always got his face in a lot of these photos, right? Now, this is his brand. I'm not saying this is my brand, it's not your brand, but this is his brand. So when you see these colors and these kind of posts, you go, oh yes, that's Ahmad, right? So he doesn't have a huge amount of actual photos himself, but you can see he's recycling the same photo and adding it. And all of these are created in Canva, all these posts, okay? So that is a good indicator in terms of how professional photo, you don't have to have 100 of them, you can have like 5 and you can reuse them and create awesome content like this guy Ahmad does. So he's a good example that I like to use because I think he's very good with staying on brand with his colors, with his themes, with his voice and all the rest. So he's a good example for you to look at as well. So I'll just go back to my presentation. Touched on all of this, I'm just going to jump through it. So the second thing is obviously, so A, have a strong profile, B, connect with the right people, and C is start creating content that appeals to these people. So how do we find the people? So there's a few ways you can obviously go about it. You know, if you said to me, I'm just going to go back to my LinkedIn. If you said to me, oh, you know, my target market is doctors. I mean, there's a few things you can search for in LinkedIn. So let's say my target market is small business owners or just business owners in Perth. So this is what you do, right? So first of all, we have a nice profile because remember we've got to clean up the house, tidy the house, we'll have it over. Now we can go, let's invite the guests. So my guests are business owners. Okay, business owners. Great. And now I'm going to click on people because I want people who are business owners to come to my house for coffee. And then I'm going to click on locations. I would like them to be in Perth. Because of COVID, no one can fly, so I can't guess from anywhere other than Perth. So we've got 39,000 business owners in Perth that have popped up in my network, right? So now what you do is you go connect. Now you can write a message if you want, you can add a note or you can just click send. Now, if you do write a note to when you do send the connections, my advice is don't try and sell them something. You know, anyone that has ever written me a note, like a salesy note, I'm like, delete. Whatever you do, do not put in a salesy note. A good note could be, you know, this is, I mean, these people have actually made a mistake because they've actually called their personal page Harcourt's Advantage. They should have actually created that as a company page. So that's a little bit naughty of them to do that because you're meant to have a company page as a separate thing. A personal page is meant to be the actual name of the person. So anyways, that's pending, but here we've got 125 shared connections. So a good little message would be, hi, Harcourt's, if that was their first name. Lovely to connect with you. I can see we have quite a lot of shared connections or something like that. Very brief, okay? So all these people here are popping up as potential connections. So you can connect with them, you can send them a thank you message for connecting, or if you've got a synergy, you could say, hi Peter, providing structural financial advice. Hi Peter, would love to connect with you. I myself work with a lot of small business owners, would love to connect, or something like that. So you can find a bit of a synergy behind your connections. Otherwise, you can just go, you know what, I'm feeling lazy, I'm just going to connect and click send. That's it, right? Sometimes people will accept, sometimes they won't. If you have a lot of shared connections though, they're more likely to connect with you because they feel like there's obviously, you know, you would have people in common that you know. But that's an easy way. So in the search bar here, you've got business owner, you can type someone by their first name, or you can say, you know what, I want to work with someone from BHP, right? So what pops up BHP? Lovely, 24,000 people that work at BHP. So you can, this is the search bar in LinkedIn. It's like your Google search bar. You can type in what kind of keywords you would like, and then they all come up. So this is why it's important to identify our target market and who we actually want to speak to. You might say, look, I just need to speak to HR people. So you would then write human resources in there and just go and speak to human resource people. So that is that. So we've got our profile is nice. We're now connecting with people. And the third thing is now posting on our social media, right? So posting, becoming that authoritative figure of our industry. So my recommendation to people when it comes to posting on LinkedIn is to do minimum of 2 times a week and maximum of 5 times a week, okay? Obviously, some weeks you might have a lot more content and some weeks you might not have a lot at all, but minimum of 2. So I'll share some ideas and content ideas. Now, a good ratio to remember when it comes to any social media platforms and when you're sharing content, make sure that 80% of the content that you share is either educational, inspirational, or conversational. So educate, inspire, and create conversation. Okay, they're 3 really important fundamentals, and the other 20% is promotional. So promotional can be like get in touch if you would like to find out more, we've got a promotion or whatever, but 80% of the content needs to be educating people. So if you're a mortgage broker, talk about the current, real estate market, or if you're in finance, talk about the lending rates, or if you're, in whatever industry you are, talk about that subject matter. And also showcase, like I did a post the other day showcasing me talking about LinkedIn. What is that doing? It's building your authority, right? So when you're showcasing, you've got to almost look at social media like the behind the scenes of your business. You've got to drip feed people or your connections content that goes, that shows them what's actually going on and what you want to be known for. So that is that. So I'll go back to this slide now, because like I said before, one of the biggest struggles 3 of the biggest struggles people face when it comes to social: don't have time. Yes, you do. Doesn't take a lot of time. The second one is I don't know what to post, which I'm going to help you with. And the third one is I don't have images to post, which I'm going to help you with. So the first one is up to you. You need to find, it doesn't take more than 10 minutes a day. I promise you. If you're organized, and it's like anything, the more you do it, the more you'll start to put your content goggles on, which means you're like, oh, this is content, this is content, this is content. Then the more you'll go, okay, this is the kind of stuff I need to post. So you need to allocate 10 minutes a day to post and to interact with other accounts. The second one is what to post, which I'm going to share with you now. And the third one is images, which I'm going to share with you now as well. But with that, you need to also either get a professional photo shoot every 6 to 12 months, and you need to start taking photos when you're out and about at events and doing whatever. Even if you don't go to events and you work from home, get your kids or your partner or someone to take a photo of you while you're working. You just need to generate more content with you in it as well, okay? Because that's what people are going to connect with. So I'm just going to jump to that section. Okay, so you can do photos, you can do videos, you can do lives, you can do documents. There's lots of stuff you can do on LinkedIn. The most popular one obviously being the photos, but I would highly recommend, if you can, do a live. I still get a bit scared, even though I do a lot of like workshops and stuff. I do get a bit scared, but it is very, very, very powerful to do a live, right? The reach and the algorithm is through the roof with videos. So, and a good way to go about that, if you are a little bit like, oh, I don't want to do it, have someone interview you, or you interview someone, right? That will ease you into doing videos. Like I did that with a few clients the last few weeks, where I went and I was like, that's it. A few clients that I actually manage their social media for them, and they were like, oh, I don't have an image. So I'm like, that's it. We're going to create some content. I went there, I had 10 questions, and we went, let's film. And it was a tripod. I went play, and I interviewed them. Tell me about your business. Tell me what you do. How do you help people? Doesn't need to be more than 60 seconds. And there you go. There's one piece of content. Right. So if you're not sure, you can have someone interview you as well, or you can interview like an industry leader in that space. But that's a really good way of, I guess, familiarizing yourself with the video world of social media, because that's where it's going now. And even with SEO, like I talked about at the beginning of the webinar about being featured, like coming up on page 1 of Google, we focus a lot on blogs and newsletters and social media posts, but what's becoming a trend now with search engine optimization is videos. So if I'm saying social media, right, 10 times, then I'm a lot more likely to be trending on Google or higher ranked on Google for social media than someone that's never done that. Right, so video, they're listening now more than just written words. It's actually in spoken words as well. So that's something to keep in mind, because it's a huge trend. So there are a few of the different things you could post. All right, so content ideas. So when you get stuck and go, oh my God, I don't know what to post today. It's Thursday, Sandra, I haven't posted anything. Let's have a look at what you can do, right? So you can share a professional experience or expertise. You can share a testimonial from one of your recommendations or your clients. Tip of the week, right? You can turn on your Google Alerts, go onto your Google Alerts, type in what business or industry you would like to be alerted on. And at the end of every day, Google will send you a list of like, 10 or 20 articles relating to that subject matter. Ta-da, there's your content. You can literally open that up. You can either share it straight away as is, or you can go, you know what, I'm going to reword this and write my own style or my own, I guess, post from what I've learned. So Google Alerts is really great for generating those contents. Share an article. Remember, you are the leader. This is your field. You are the expert. People will pay you for your advice or your product. So you need to become the leader. The only way, I went to this morning at that mayor's breakfast, and there was a guy talking there, and he said, the only way I could really get my business to the next level is to differentiate myself from my competitors. So he goes, I did something that my competitors don't do. So you've got to think, how can I do something else? How can I be that person that comes to people's mind? Bright visuals, interview an industry leader, user-generated content. You might find something on LinkedIn that you go, oh, I love this. This is great. Share it. Share it. There's a share button at the bottom of the post, and you can share that. That's called user-generated content. You can do a poll. You can ask a question. So remember, my ratio 80% is conversational. I did a poll a few months ago, and the poll was, do you prefer to work from home, work from an office, or a bit of both? And it was 70% of people said both. So I had about 105 people vote. So what that does, it creates a bit of engagement with your content. Ask a question, lessons that you've learned while you've been in business, share a project you've been working on. Are you excited to announce something? Have you won an award? Showcase your, I also do client spotlight or staff spotlight. So you can feature your staff, you can feature your clients. So this is just some ideas, and you just need to do 2 or 3 a week, right? So it's not that hard. It's just like anything, it's creating that momentum. It's going, okay. And once you start generating that momentum and the ideas kind of start flowing. I remember when a couple of years ago, I was pregnant and I was really sick through my pregnancy, like extremely sick, where I could not function. I could not function for a few months. And I remember just being like, I can't post. I just didn't want to do anything. So for any ladies that are on here, you've had that, you know what I'm talking about. And I just didn't want to post. And I remember I stopped posting on LinkedIn, and it was really hard for me to get back into it because I was like, what do I post? I don't know what to post. Like, it feels weird. Like, I'm putting myself out there, and do people care? So yes, they do care. And the more you start to do it, because as soon as I start posting, I'm like, I feel like I'm annoying people sometimes. And there is such a thing as posting too much, but I have all these ideas. I'm like, I could post this, I could post that, I could do this. So like anything, the more you do it, the more ideas you get. When you exercise, and some of you might disagree, but when you exercise, you go, oh, wow, this is good. I want to do it more. So you get that momentum. So that's what these posts do. You start to build that momentum. So what I'm going to ask you all to do, because I know we're nearing, and I've got a few more slides to show you, but I'm going to assign you homework. It's totally up to you to do it, but it's how you do anything in life, it's how you do everything. So if you can do this, it would be fantastic. I would love for you to fix up your profiles in the next day or so. Once you've done that, I would love for you to do a reintroduction of yourself to your network with your photo, right? So say, hello, I'm Sandra Tricoli. I just wanted to reintroduce myself to my network, as I've had quite a few new connections as of late. This is who I am. This is what I do. If you ever have any questions relating to my services, please feel free to reach out to me, or something like that. So every 6 to 12 months, I tell my clients to reintroduce themselves, because we're constantly getting new connections. So it's important to do that. And it's important to put a face to the name of the business, okay? So legalities of posting on social media. This is something a lot of people don't really touch on, but you do have to be careful about posting stuff. I guess, look, the simplest answer to legalities is don't post anything that's obviously going to be potentially defaming someone else. That's obviously one of the big no-go zones. If someone's put something where they're defaming John Smith and you're like, yeah, I agree with that, John Smith is an idiot, you can actually get in trouble for that as well. So just be mindful. The social media laws are changing very dramatically, you know, and all this stuff that's been happening with Facebook and all the rest. So it's always been updating on all the rest. So for me, the best way to I guess protect yourself is to not try and get too involved with anything that could potentially defame someone. Also, depending on what industry, I know there's a lot of industry bodies out there that there's a lot of legalities around them. So always make sure that you do, you know, speak to the higher authority if there is, like if you're in a franchise business or if you're, you know, there's always some legalities. Especially like around finance and that. So just make sure that you've got all the guidelines as well as medical. I know medical has a lot of guidelines that promote like testimonials and things like that. So, you know, see if you can get like a social media you know, guideline for your industry. Probably Google would have it, or the higher authorities in your business if there is someone higher than you. And if there isn't, it's probably worth you creating one for your own business, because then if you do eventually have someone marketing you, or you outsource your social media, you've got someone coming into work for you, you can say, look, these are the things we can talk about, these are the things we can't talk about, just to do that. And also another thing, like if someone, going back to the whole defamation thing, if someone has posted John Smith is an idiot and he's this and he's that, and you share that, you then become viable for that, okay? So as much as we're meant to have this whole free speech thing, unfortunately, we are still quite guarded in terms, we can still do it, but there can be consequences with it as well, because John can then say, well, you know, Sandra went and shared this and this is defaming me to her network now as well. So Sandra's that. So yeah, I guess the simple answer is be nice. Don't share any negative stuff on there. And especially LinkedIn, you know, I find people do tend to get a bit political and stuff, and it's not the place for it. You know, you can voice your opinions, but I think there's an elegant way to do it as well. Information. So another good platform where you can get some really good content ideas, right? So we're talking about the pain points, don't have time, don't know what to post, don't know, have images. Another great thing, it's called Google Answer the Public. So if you go onto your Google, right, and type in Answer the Public, you get 2 or 3 free searches a day. So what you do is, I'll show you now actually. Yeah. Answer the Public. We've got this guy here that likes to come and say hello. And I might put in here, I'm going to put sustainability. Okay, and then I'm going to click on Australia. He's agreeing with me. That's lovely. Okay, sustainability. Okay, and now what it does, it shows me, right? It shows me like data of what people are searching for today around sustainability in Australia. So there's 73 questions. So which sustainability concern is addressed by upcycling, what sustainability means in a business context, how sustainability is related to that. So look at all these awesome questions, right? So if you're going scratching your head, God, what do I write about today about sustainability? I don't know. Ta-da, you've got all these questions that people are asking about sustainability. Answer them in a post, answer them in a blog, answer them in an article, answer them in a video, right? So it's easy. It's just about marrying the two. This is what people want to know. I'm the expert. I'm going to create content to answer these questions, answer the public, right? And then at the top, you've got questions, prepositions, and last of all, comparisons, right? So there's over like 150 different questions, comparisons, and prepositions that you can literally, that's data from today, that is going to give you guys content to work with, whether it's a blog, an article, or whatever. So it's a really great little platform to do that on. So, and I think we're almost coming to the end. Okay. And where to find images and videos. So, A, time, tick that. B, what to post. We've got answer the public, and you've got that slide with all those content ideas, user-generated content, blogs, articles, testimonials. And last of all, photos. Try and get a professional photo shoot every 6 to 12 months. Otherwise, you can find a heap of amazing free images and videos for LinkedIn on these platforms. Now, some of them are free, like Pixabay is free, Unsplash is free, Pexel. So a lot of them are free. A lot of them are free and then also have a paid subscription as well. So it's up to you, you know, if you want to use it. I use Unsplash a lot because, let's be honest, we don't have a zillion photos in our portfolio of images of ourselves and our team. So where you are struggling to find a photo, in particular for blogs and stuff like that, use one of these platforms where you know, you can use these free photos and they're all copyright free, so you don't need to mention anyone, you don't need to say anything that, you know, I got this photo from X, Y, and Z. It's all there for us to use, and that's some of the best company pages. Okay, so these are some trending hashtags to use. So when you do post something 2 or 3 times a week, hashtags are important. If you're familiar with Instagram, hashtag is what people follow. So someone might not be following you specifically, but they're following sustainability or they're following travel. If you use the travel hashtag in your post, you still have the likelihood of popping up in their newsfeed, even as myself, but they're not connected with me. But because I've used this hashtag, I'm now popping up in their newsfeed. So these are some of the trending hashtags to use. Make sure that the hashtags you use are obviously relevant to your post, and that they're also relevant to what your target market is following. So, you know, if your target market is, you know, businesses, you would type in small business advice, would, for example, be a hashtag, because, you know, small businesses are generally going to be following small business advice. So look, that's going to bring us to the end. I know there's a few more slides, but we are exactly on 11 o'clock. So I can send these slides to you guys as well if you need them. And yeah, I'll send you an email with the slides, and if you need to have any extra help or assistance. But hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you'll now be all LinkedIn gurus. And remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Everything takes time to build, but you need to start somewhere. Because days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and you'll look back in 6 months or a year and go, oh God, I really wish I'd started earlier. So use today as your starting day, and you know, there's no reason that you can't be exactly where you want to be with your business in 12 months' time if you start really getting clear about your goals and your strategies to get there. So thanks. Does anyone have any questions? Simona, Leroy, Laura, Harsha, Chris, I can see you guys are there. No? All good. I'm here if you have a question. And hopefully that was, yeah, helpful and you guys learned a thing or two. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'll speak to you all soon. Have a great day, and I'll send these slides to you. Thanks, Laura. I'll send the slides to you guys hopefully later this afternoon. We'll go from there. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your long weekend as well. We've got the long weekend coming up next week. So enjoy the sunshine and time with your families, and I'll chat to you all soon. See ya.